Today we are going to start a series on the New York Message book. You are going to listen to Esther Lobo's reading on Welcome to New York, and after we'll make some exploration on the story, on the vocabulary, and then we are going to some grammar part. Let's hear the reading.
Chapter 1. Welcome to New York. Mom, what's that over there? Asks Abigail, pointing at the tallest building she can see from the back of the cab. Her sister, Alyssa, is looking out of the window, watching all the cars driving by. Abigail and Alyssa are twins. They are visiting New York with their parents. The family is Canadian and they are from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Their airplane flew into John F. Kennedy Airport, and they are now traveling into New York City in a yellow cab to stay at a hotel for a week's vacations. That's the Empire State Building, honey. We can visit it tomorrow if you like, her mom Janice says. All these buildings are huge. The buildings from Halifax are so small, says Alyssa. Why are they so tall? I hope they have elevators. Of course they have elevators, their dad Kevin laughs. The buildings are tall because Manhattan Island is quite small and a lot of people want to live and work here. Manhattan? I thought this was New York, Alyssa says, looking confused. Yeah, that's what I thought too, says Abigail. Yes, it is, but the center of New York is an island and it's called Manhattan. I can see that you guys are going to learn a lot on this vacation, Kevin says. The cab turns a corner into Times Square. Whoa, the twins say at the same time. Times Square has a lot of luminous advertisements all over the buildings and is a very busy part of the city. They include theater advertisements for many of New York's famous Broadway shows. That's amazing! Look at all those lights, says Alyssa. Is our hotel near here? Asks Abigail. I hope so. Yes, it's not far. It's on Broadway, which is a very famous street in New York. All the best theaters are around there, Mom says. Can we go to the theater, Mom? Can we? I really want to see a musical, Alyssa says. Alyssa loves singing and dancing, and wants to be an actress. I want to go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I hear it has a wonderful Greek art exhibition, says Abigail. Abigail is very interested in history and loves to read and visit art galleries and museums. You girls are going to love this vacation, Kevin tells his daughters.
Before moving on to the story itself, we are going to see what are stories. A story is an account of imaginary or real people and events told for entertainment. A story often contains one or more of the following: narrator, who tells the story, characters, that can be people or animals on the story, a setting, talking about the time and place the story happens, and the happenings, with the beginning, the middle, and the end. In New York Message, who is our narrator? We don't know. The narrator only tells the story. It doesn't take part on the story. The characters. We have the twins, Abigail and Alyssa, and Janice and Kevin, their parents. Setting. We are not sure of the time, but we do know that the place is New York City. What happens? They arrive to New York City from Canada for their vacation. So, what is this story about? It is a story about a Canadian family. They flew to New York for a family week's vacation. The couple, Janice and Kevin, have twins named Abigail and Alyssa. They left the JFK airport in a yellow cab, and the girls were amazed with all the skyscrapers. They got to know that in the center of the New York City there is an island called Manhattan. They were going to stay in a hotel, and when they were passing on Times Square, they saw a lot of brilliant advertisements for shows in the buildings, and they hoped to be near Times Square. Now let's go to some important places in the New York City. We have the JFK International Airport. JFK is an airport named after John Frederick Kennedy, that was the President of the United States of America, who was killed. After, we have the Empire State Building. The Empire State Building is a skyscraper. A skyscraper is a very tall building. After the 9/11 events, the Empire State Building became the most important building for trades and economic issues in the United States of America. We have also the Metropolitan Museum of Art, where you can find the finest art of that place. We have the Central Park, that is a very long park with gardens and places where family can gather and have some nice time. And we have Times Square, known for its very high buildings and for the advertisements on the buildings. New York is known as the city that never sleeps, and in Times Square you can see people going and coming at every single hour of the day. The Statue of Liberty is the statue that was presented to the United States after they get their independence from France. Now Let's go to some grammar. We are going to review the personal pronouns that are words used to replace names. And as an example we have Abigail and Alyssa are twins. They are visiting New York. They replaced Abigail and Alyssa. So we have the personal pronouns divided into singular, one person, and plural for two or more people. The first person of the singular is I, second person you, the third person he, she, or it. It goes for animals, objects, or places. And then we have the plural. We have we as the first person of plural, you as the second person of the plural, and they as the third person of plural. Now we are going to review also the verb to be in the present simple. We have the affirmative form, subject plus to be plus the rest of the sentence. As an example, he is nice. The negative form, we have the subject plus to be plus not plus the rest of the sentence. An example, he is not nice. And the interrogative form, to be plus subject plus the rest of the sentence and the interrogation mark. Is he nice? Moving on to the present continuous. We have the affirmative form as the subject plus the auxiliary verb, that is the verb to be, plus the main verb plus ing plus the rest of the sentence. An example, he is eating rice. The negative form, subject plus to be plus not plus the main verb plus ing and the rest of the sentence. Example, he is not eating rice. Interrogative form, you have the verb to be, the auxiliary verb starting, the verb to be, subject, the main verb, ing, and the rest of the sentence. Is he eating rice? What are the usages and the examples we can have from the present continuous? We can use the present continuous to describe something which is happening at the exact moment of the speech. As I am talking, Jim is watching television at the moment. We can use the present continuous as well to describe an action that is taking place now, but not at the exact moment of speech. For example, John is working in London. As well, we can describe an event planned in the future, in the informal form. I am taking my French class on Tuesday. We can use it as well to describe a temporary situation. I am staying with a friend for a few days. We can use it as well to emphasize the frequency of an action. That child is always crying for no good reason. And also to describe changing situations. As an example, her health is improving by leaps and bounds.